Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We're back in the double-digit temps, but it might not feel like it. The wind has been strong for much of the day. Now it's backing off a bit, giving drivers along 52nd Avenue South a break for their evening commute. The drifting is still there, so keep an eye out if the wind picks up. Let's get more on the evening forecast from Hutch in your No Wait weather planner. Hutch?
Andrea, that wind is continuing to gust in many areas. As we take a look at air temperatures, we have risen to nearly 30 degrees in Sisseton, but it don't feel that warm thanks to those gusty winds. It's almost 40 in Minot, if you can believe that, while we're holding at 19 in Bemidji. Winds are gusting to almost 40 miles per hour, even here in Fargo. So if you are heading out on this Valentine's Day night, you'll want to make sure you dress appropriately. Wind chills are still 25 to 35 degrees below zero here in the valley, and the wind is expected to continue. By the way, Grafton and Cavalier, it even has a little extra bite to it there. So on this Valentine's Day night, here's a look at your lovely forecast. 21 degrees with winds gusting over 30 miles per hour, decreasing late, and then a chance for a few flakes of snow that are right now making their way into the Devil's Lake Basin. I'll have details on the rest of your weekend forecast, but really, your Valentine's Day night is going to remain chilly, even though temperatures are in the 20s.
You're doing a good job trying to sell that 21.
It's so nice.
Yeah, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
New information tonight surrounding the arrest of 60-year-old Jinlan Lee after a 5-year investigation into reports of sex acts at a Detroit Lakes massage parlor. According to court documents, on September 19th of last year, an undercover agent requested an hour-long massage with Lee. Records say another woman helping Lee with the massage tried to touch the agent's genitals during the massage, but he declined the move. We'll have much more on this story tonight on Valley News Live at 6. And here's a heads up from police in Lisbon, North Dakota. Counterfeit $100 bills are circulating in the area. In their Facebook post, Lisbon police say it's hard to see the difference between the real and the fake ones until you hold it up to a light. The president's face, which is supposed to appear on the right side of the bill, is missing along with the security strip. They say if you come across a counterfeit, turn it into police or bring it to your bank. Authorities in Wahpeton are alerting the public to a high-risk sex offender who's now living in the area. Officials say 27-year-old Jonathan Abel is currently living at 426 4th Street South in Wahpeton. Court records say he pleaded guilty in 2017 to 2 counts of gross sexual imposition involving juvenile victims. He must register for a lifetime.
The clerk greeted him and asked if he was all ready to go, and he said yes, and tucked everything down and just bolted out the door.
A man was caught on surveillance camera stealing Valentine's Day gifts from a Fargo shop. The brazen thief did it in broad daylight, and the business owner is calling him a coward for committing the crime. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero joins us in the studio with a surveillance video. Joshua?
Andrew, the theft happened at Enchantis located right off of 25th Street South. The man who you see here was in the shop looking at stuff when he began making his way to the front door. When the clerk acknowledged him, he ran out the door. Another employee ran after him to snap a picture of his license plate, which was covered. Kim Patterson, who owns the shop, says the man took 2 pieces of lingerie and a sex toy. Patterson says she doesn't plan to alert police due to their change in policy last year to not respond to some shoplifting cases. But she hopes by putting this video out there, it will get some attention.
I would feel horrible if I got a Valentine's Day gift from some guy and then found out that he stole it. The guy ran, like my tiny little clerk behind the counter was a threat to him or something. I thought, you know, he just handled it he was a coward about the whole thing.
The man only stole $140 worth of stuff from the sex shop. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Joshua. And Chantasy says if they end up getting a name for the thief, they plan on pursuing charges with police. It's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Police say 33-year-old Scott Anderson is wanted for felony reckless endangerment. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. A West Fargo family is thankful tonight after proper planning saves their home from being a total loss during a fire. The house caught fire on the 2nd floor around 9:40 this morning. Fire crews were able to put out the blaze before it reached the 1st floor. According to the fire marshal on scene, the only reason the house was saved from total loss is because the family shoveled around their fire hydrant, allowing crews easy and quick access to water. Officials say the family is temporarily displaced, but they're getting help from the American Red Cross. loss. North Dakota's lone congressman, Kelly Armstrong, will be announcing a bid for re-election on Monday with stops in Fargo, Dickinson, and Bismarck. The freshman representative's office says the campaign kickoff will be Monday morning in Fargo. He was first elected to Congress in 2018. Today on Twitter, President Trump is claiming he has the right to intervene in criminal cases. It comes a day after a rare rebuke from Attorney General William Barr, who said the president's tweets are making his job impossible. And at the same time, news the Justice Department is reviewing another case the president has complained about. Alice Barr is in Washington with the latest.
Hours after President Trump defiantly tweeted he has the legal right to intervene in criminal cases, and a day after his attorney general declared his independence from the White House, news that the Justice Department is taking another look at former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Flynn is awaiting sentencing for lying to the FBI, a case similar to Trump associate Roger Stone, whose sentencing for lying to Congress seemingly put the president and attorney general at odds.
I think it's time to stop the tweeting.
Barr told ABC News the president's tweets about the Justice Department's prosecution of Stone make it impossible to do his job.
I'm not going to be bullied or influenced by anybody.
Stone was convicted of lying to Congress and obstructing the Russia investigation. The president called the recommended sentence horrible and very unfair. And when Barr intervened to shorten it, an entire team of federal prosecutors resigned from the case. Barr insists the president did not influence his decision, but today 9 Democratic senators are calling for Barr to resign.
He is part of a pattern of political interference in the Department of Justice that is absolutely intolerable.
While the Senate's top Republican backs him up.
I think the president ought to listen to the attorney general.
In another move that could show the Justice Department pushing back against the president, federal prosecutors decided not to charge former FBI Director Andrew McCabe, a frequent target of President Trump. The decision ends a 2-year investigation into whether McCabe lied to federal investigators about a media leak.
Officials say McCabe denies intentionally misleading investigators. His attorneys said today, at long last, justice has been done. Officials say the massive underpass construction project in Moorhead is right on schedule. It's the railroad underpass at Southeast Main and 21st Street, and it's now 63% complete. The city says construction is still happening on the retaining walls and bridges. Underground utility construction is on hold until spring. The project is expected to be done in 2021. Hundreds of people gathered this morning to honor the alarming number of missing murdered Indigenous people in Minnesota and around the country. In 2019, Minnesota launched a task force to combat the issue. Today in the Valley, the group shared stories, songs, and artwork with uplifting messages.
I'm grateful and thankful that the awareness has went all the way across Turtle Island, and to have community members come in the Fargo area has been very empowering, very encouraging, and uplifting for all of us as a task force.
Of the over 5,700 cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls in 2016, only 116 were logged in the Department of Justice database. However, many believe this number is much higher because many go unreported. The Minnesota Wild have parted ways with head coach Bruce Boudreau in the middle of his 4th season with the team. The announcement was made by their first-year general manager after the team suffered their 23rd loss of the season after falling in a shootout to the New York Rangers. Assistant coach Dean Evison has been named the interim head coach. In his career with the Wild, Boudreau went 158, 110, 35 overall.